While millions of Americans continue to struggle with poverty, many may be surprised to learn that their limited income is still considered rich in other countries. In fact, an economist for the World Bank says that more than half of the world's wealthiest people live in the United States.
People who would be below the U.S. poverty line are sometimes considered like the global middle class.
Branko Milanovic is also author of the book The Haves and the Have-Nots. He says the benchmark for qualifying for the rich classification is about $34,000 per year after taxes per person.
That means that for a family of four, approximately they would have to have approximately $140,000 after taxes, which means that before taxes we are talking about an amount which is quite considerable.
But while it seems on the surface that the United States may still be a land of opportunity globally for people who live here, it appears those opportunities might be receding. Over the last 3 years, the number of poor Americans has skyrocketed. Based on the latest census data, there are now 49 million residents who are living at or below the poverty line. Many blame this dual reality on the failure of capitalism and corporate greed. Charles Barron represents one of the poorest communities in New York City.
The gap is so wide that it is a disgrace that this level of poverty exists in a country that has a $3.8 trillion national budget and all of these millionaires and billionaires.
The number of rich Americans rose during the current economic crisis. In the last 3 years, more than 15 million people were sent to the unemployment line. Millions of families lost their jobs and medical insurance. Barron is one of many voices who blame Washington for choosing the wealthy over the needy.
What makes it even worse is that in addition to the greed, in addition to the contradictions of capitalism and its class system that's based on race, gender, and class discrimination, is the corruption, the Ponzi schemes, the loans, the predatory lendings. It's not enough that they're just greedy, they're crooked too.
While economists argue that poverty in the United States is still relative to people who have to get by with much less worldwide, few project any rapid improvements in closing the gap between America's rich and its poor. Gary Anthony Ramsay, Press TV, New York.